Jason, I'm sure you've got a comment here because again, this is the world you dance in.
Well, I do, and the issue is, this conversation leads me to the idea that if you're being distracted, right, this is the greatest message that we could leave people with, today or anytime in their life, is that when you don't understand that you're playing the game for freedom, right? That's the reason why you're playing the game. I don't care if you're living in your mom's basement, if you happen to have, your story got me a little bit, Ramon, earlier, because I had to sit there and watch my mom embarrassed with this was back in the day when they tore it off. I'll tell you, that's my age. They used to have to tear out the thing and give it across like it was fake money. So, it doesn't matter whether you're on welfare, whether you started a business, whether you work for somebody, whether you got work for somebody and you've got a side hustle. It doesn't really matter. The world has misinformed you and me about the game we're playing. The people that control the issues right now realize keeping us distracted from the fact that our God-given right, our sovereignty, was granted by God and not a man, and not by a system, and not by a rule, and not by a law, and that we have abdicated that and given it away to people we've allowed to distract us. So when you're talking about the behavior of building a machine that creates cash, that's all a business should be, right? It's a machine that creates cash for you and your family to be able to create freedom, right? Pastor Rudy, who I run with on the rescues that we do for these children that have been abducted and being traded in the sex trade, he told me one day, he said, "Jason, a slave cannot free another slave." And man, that hit me right in the face. It hit me right in the face, and I thought about it. I was like, that is the God's honest truth. Right? Until I was able to create financial, economic freedom, because financial freedom is an overplayed word. Economic freedom means power. It means strength. It means being able to create a base by which you can stand on a firm ground and then be able to do the thing that God put you on this earth to do, whatever that is. And it gives you that ability. So if that becomes the outcome, as opposed to having the nicest car, the biggest house, the Instagram post, all this other kind of stuff, my freedom becomes, now you finance that and economically finance that outcome, right? And that is the greatest message we could have. What does my freedom look like? How much is it? How many of these things, these tools called money, do I need to be able to get to that level? And then what can I do to serve other people at the highest level with my ethical capitalist pursuits, to be able to stand and be able to serve better than my competition, serve better than this, be able to cut through the distraction, be able to get my solution out into more people's hands, because I can get to my freedom faster and thereby do what I know creates joy, which is create freedom for other people.
And that's the thing, right? Which drives us crazy is you see all of these posts, people giving advice, right? And I say advice is worth a dime. Your experience is what's worth millions. You got a little 12-year-old giving you business advice and they're broke. And it happens over and over again. I see these posts from people and I'm like, they're not free, but you're listening to people that are not economically free to help you with your freedom, to help you with your finances, to help you with your business. And I'm like, how can you take business advice from somebody who hasn't sold their business? Haven't sold it. They start it, but they haven't gone all the way to the end. You have to build it, you have to grow it, and somebody has to write you a check for what you have actually built. Until that has happened, you are full of shit. You don't know, because the diligence part of this is what will kill you. When you think your business is worth 10 million and you find out it's worth 1 and you're like, but wait a minute, I've already put 1.3 in it. Most people are buying themselves a job. If you're an influencer and you've got 9 million followers and you think you have a business, no, you don't. You know why you don't have a business? You can't sell it. You can't sell it. You are stuck in that forever. And that's why I'm telling you, the first conversation that I had with Jason, I wanted to murder him because I was so triggered. And I wanted to show him my resume over and over and over again. But look at my resume. But look at my resume. I've done 10 companies. I've done these actions. I've done that. And he said, Amelia, you're not thinking like a chairman. You're thinking like a CEO. And I'm like, but Jason, I'm a great CEO. He's like, I'm not arguing that point. What I'm arguing with, Amelia, is that it is in everybody's interest. Your investors, your board, every employee, every vendor, Everybody's interest is for you to stay in the CEO role. But what's your interest? And I was like, I'm going to have to kill this man. I'm going to have to kill this man because I was going in the wrong direction. Now, look at my resume. Take a minute. Go look at it. 53,000 employees. I'm a successful person. And that's what I had to tell. I was saying to him, but I'm successful. And he goes, and you're still wrong. Now, I can continue to hate him, or I can say, okay, that's the man I got to learn from. And I'm telling you, if I made the mistake, if you were listening, I bet my paycheck you're making the mistake. You've got the wrong destination. And so when Ramon decided to do this, I'm so happy to go over BWC. And I'm like, we have to do a show about blind spots. You are paddling backwards in what you cannot see. I am not saying that what I'm telling you feels good. Doesn't feel good to me either. And so finding the compliment, right? I am more committed to sharing with Jason what he doesn't see. He is more committed to showing me what I don't know. That's the relationship. The relationship isn't, Jason, I want you to feel good. I want to grow. And so having relationships that are committed to the growth and not the feel good is how you're going to move to the next level. This hour is not about you feeling good. You have another hour for feel good. There are feel good people that are coming. We're not the feel good hour. We're the, I've never thought about that. What am I going to do about that? It's okay if you don't like us. That's not the goal. But you're going to learn from us because once you know, you can't unknow.
And actually, Amelia, just so you know, sadly to say the next segment, it's not the feel good hour either. Sorry to say that. But anyways, that's another point. We'll bring on our next guest, our next expert, Alexa, in about 7 minutes, Alexa. So stand by. I would love you to join us in a minute here. But a few things. One is Jason was talking. I was like, I wanted, what church is he at? And did he drink some Adam Smith juice? You know who I'm talking about, Amelia. Yeah, and I'm like, what? And then I'm like, that's my guy. And then Amelia got on fire again. And I did it. So listen, we have 9 minutes to go. This is Breakfast with Champions show. Get to know us better at bwcdaily.com. Amelia Antonetti's been dropping signs with her guest, Jason. So we're going here now. Stars Tina, get ready. I'm going to bring you up in a minute. Christina, before we end, also love you to read some of these comments that are on Clubhouse and other things. People like on fire here. Like my iPad is melting. It's like half of it is dripping off the desk. This is fire. Thank you, Amelia. Jason, good to see you. Stars Tina, bring us a comment or two real quick here. And then
yes. First of all, I love you, Amelia. You are beautiful. I'm hoping you can hear me. Yes.
Yep,
Jason, you're amazing too. So I have a question for the both of you because I hear people say this all the time. Oh, it's a money mindset to change how you think. Can you give one or two pieces of advice for that person that doesn't understand that? For example, they may get $20,000 or $30,000 tomorrow, and then it's gone next week. What's something they can do with their mindset, with their thoughts, that can help them get to that next level? Because I know a lot of people like that, and I don't know what to tell them.
Jason?
I was going to say ladies first. Go ahead, Amelia.
Right. So again, the money mindset. The person who keeps thinking about a money mindset sees money as the most valuable thing, right? They're putting the emphasis on money as if money was the only measurement. But if you're measuring your business only on money, you're going to fail. You're going to fail because money is a tool, right? If you look at the flow of a business, right? A business has this flow, right? And hopefully it gets more and more valuable over time. What you need to be saying to yourself is you have to have a value driver mindset. What drives value in what it is that you're doing? So a business has a proven formula. Again, anybody who's sold their company knows this is what you get paid for. You get paid for the value drivers of the business. Anything other than that is your ego. So I say, I only pay attention to what drives value in my business. I hear it all the time. People go, oh, you don't have a very big social. I don't get paid for my social. Social is not part of my value drivers. It doesn't matter to me. That's ego. I don't care how many followers I have. I've sold 9 companies. My social never, that's not the value driver for my business. That's not what we're building. That's not where the value is at. So I'm very focused on that. In my life, what drives value in my life? And so it's not about my mindset. It's by understanding what do I value and how do I take all of my resources and apply it to what I value first. In Designing Genius, we call it your areas of focus. In those areas of focus, that is what I do every single day. And so if you think about it mathematically, if you pour into what you value every single day without question, it's mathematically impossible for that not to grow. The reason why things don't grow is you sporadically and inconsistently pour by spray and pray because you don't know what you really value. So that's how I would ask. It's not about a money mindset. It's about what you value mindset.
Yeah, I'll further expand on that and just say it's a freedom mindset, right? We forget, again, I cannot say this enough times, is that what we are looking for, and freedom is simply defined as you having the choices to do the things that you want to do when you want to do them with who you want to do them with, right? And that's how we were created. We were not created to be slaves to a job, right? It's the illusion of freedom. And I again, that's what I do in my off time is I fight for actual slaves, people that are actually enslaved and chained and being utilized and all those kind of things. And I see, and then I go into business and I see that there are people that are enslaved to their business. It's fine. Your cell just has a nicer bed in it. Right. And so if we get to the place where we understand that thing is freedom, then you have a freedom mindset and you stop listening to these idiots that are saying this stuff who are making money off of your hope, right? They're making money off of your distraction. They're making money off of an emotional piece of you that thinks that there's an easy pill somewhere, right? If you have a freedom mindset, you realize that you're building a machine called a business, and there's only 3 components that you can create. It's not complicated. You either save people money, you make them money, or you improve their quality of life. Which one of those, if it's a combination of all 3, but you can do that better than the you of yesterday, and you can figure out how to do that better than your competition, which then goes ahead and funds your freedom fund. When you get to your freedom fund, buy a great car, right? When you get to your freedom fund, upgrade your house, right? When you get to freedom fund, go to Paris, but don't go until you have your freedom because you're just paying rent, right? You're just paying rent on your own prison until you get there. And you can do this. Everybody listening to this show today, you can. If I could do it, I didn't graduate from high school, y'all. Right? My adopted father went to prison for attempted murder of me and my mom when I was 17. We were raised on food stamps, moving from town to town. My mom had to pick asparagus off the side of the road to feed us sometimes. And if I can do that, you can too. But you got to be that objective, right? The thing that comes across harsh for me is that I love you so much that I have to risk your dislike of me to tell you the truth. Right? And that's what I'm here for. I love so deeply and so passionately the people that I'm around that it drives me insane that we're targeting the wrong thing. Set freedom fund, set freedom mindset, and then you're going to start to accomplish and achieve because you're working on the right things. So I'll take a breath.
And most of the time on social media, when you see people in planes and Bentleys, they don't own them. They don't own them. Right? You're being swayed about something that you think represents success. When the reality is when I talk to most people and I go, okay, what has meaning to you? Real meaning to you? What do you care about? Do you care about flying in that plane? Do you really? Is that what's in your perfect day? Because in most cases, it's not. What do they want? More time with their loved ones, more ability to make money, less stress. It has nothing to do with driving a Bentley or flying in a plane. People who actually have freedom, right? Economic freedom, don't give a hoot about the planes, the trains, and the automobiles. Read the book, The Millionaire Next Door. They are incognito. They don't talk about their money. They don't want to talk about their money, and they don't put the value on money. The money is just a means to the end like everything else. It isn't what defines them. I would never want somebody to talk about me in my final the first 2 rows of my funeral, people who care about me, to stand up and say, well, Amelia cared about her money.
Amelia, let me guarantee, Amelia, that will never happen. Here's what they're going to say. Here's what I will say to Amelia's funeral. We got about 1 minute to go. Amelia, I want to give you the final thought here. And Jason, amazing you being here. Startina, thanks for jumping on. And Christina Howard, thanks for being here. Delon, you can go do a 3-shot if you want as we transition over. But Amelia, what they're going to say is, so here's the thing, Jason, about Amelia. And then Amelia, I'm going to turn over to you to close this out here, and I'll bring on Dr. Alexa's show. But here's the thing about Amelia. She brings so much fear in people, I think, but yet everybody loves her. You see the chat. I'm not a behaviorist. I'm not here to make you happy. I'm not here to cry you to sleep. I'm not here to pat you. I'm not here to make you feel good. And people are like, yes, give me more. So I just don't, anyhow, Jason, I don't understand it, but Jason, it's good to meet you. Amelia, can you give us a final word or two? Feel free to give time for Jason, but then we're going to close out and transition in about 30 seconds here. Amelia, back to you.
The name of the show is Blind Spots. That's what we're here to show you what you don't see. We'll be back here every single Wednesday, 7:30 a.m. Tune in. Don't be shy. We're here to help you. And Jason, if I'm the big and bad, I went after the biggest, baddest man that I know. So Jason, I love you. Over to you.
I love you too. And again, that is where this comes from. It is a place of love. We're going to do this week after week after week because it needs to change, right? How you make people that are oppressing other people, how you get rid of them is you make them irrelevant by becoming successful. And that's what we're here to do, is to make all of this nonsense around us become irrelevant because we come together as a family by operating on principles.
Love it. Jason,
and Ramon, thank you so much for the platform, man. And congratulations. And Christina, it was wonderful to meet you. And I am so excited to be a part of this family moving forward.
We're glad to have you. Amelia, stay with us for a second or two. Dolan, let's bring up Alexa. We can chat for a bit. Let me just reset the room a bit as Dr. Alexa comes up. And if she's ready, we can chat a bit here. But I just wanted to say, everybody, again, this is Breakfast with Champions. We're live streaming on bwcdaily.com. We're live streaming on Clubhouse. We're live streaming on Twitter Spaces. We are even live streaming. I have a deal with Staples. We're going to be live streaming through their fax machine system. We're going to be faxing out episodes of this as well. We're going to be doing over to Teletype as well. And I have a deal with Mike Tyson, Carrier Pigeons. We're bringing it back. If you don't get that joke, he does pigeons. So we're bringing all the things back as well. We're bringing a lot here back. But Amelia, it's good to have you here. Let's see if Dr. Alexa, if you're ready, Dr. Alexa. I know she's going to bring her crew. They may be getting some things done. Let me look in the private chat here and see. Good. Yeah, so when they're ready, Dolan, just bring them up. Dr. Alexa and her crew can join live on the air. What we're going to do here, everybody, is that at the 9 a.m. hour, then we're going to transition back to Clubhouse. This live stream will end. But in the meantime, we get to see Dr. Alexa, and I believe it's going to be Deb and Deb. And
good
Deb
morning.
Well. Hey, Dr. Alexa, good to see you here. How are you feeling this morning, Dr. Alexa? You all right?
I am doing fantastic. Just loving this new setup. It's amazing.
Thanks for being here. Deb, how are you feeling this morning?
I'm amazing as well. I've got my coffee. I'm ready to go.
Awesome. Well, I don't have mine because I'm in a hotel in the Hilton Hotel, and they have the kind of, the coffee that's like near the bathroom that you're not sure if you should use it or not. There's that. So I skipped that today. But listen, everybody, this is Ramon Ray. We are live streaming Breakfast with Champions. Anything else I should say, Christina, before we turn the show over to these ladies? And again, at 30 minutes, we're going to close this. I'll come back on, Dr. Alexa, but we'll close this in a minute, 30 minutes, and we'll go back to Clubhouse. But anything I should add, Christina Howard?
I would just like to remind everybody, hey, if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Even if you don't want to come off of your mic, just put the questions in the chat and we'll ask questions for you. Let's keep the chat. Look, keep the chat live. Keep putting your comments in the chat and let's blow it up. You all blew it up. You blew up the chats during Amelia's segment. So blow the chat up. Okay, let's do it. Let's go.
Interact. And with that, we bring America's favorite business strategist, person-ish, and she brings a crew with her. Dr. Alexa, the mic is all yours, and I'll come back.
Person-ish.
And do it.
I like that.
Mic's yours.
Can you guys hear me okay? Good? All right. Hey, Debbie.
Hi, Alexa.
Good morning, everybody. I guess we are streaming across everything. We are on episode 3 because we went live on Monday, Tuesday, and today is Wednesday. And I always say today, I'm like a weirdo, I guess, but Wednesdays are one of my favorite days, Debbie. And Debbie knows this because she sees me. I wake up on Wednesday. Oop, my camera. I wake up on Wednesdays and I'm like, all right, it's Wednesday. Let's go. And I'm like super pumped. And everyone's like, one of our staff members said, she goes, Oh man, Alexa, I feel like it's Friday already. And I'm like, it's Monday at 11 a.m. I'm like, does that mean I'm working you guys too hard? But good morning, everybody. My name is Alexa D'Agostino. I am a serial entrepreneur. A lot of you on Clubhouse have followed us for a very long time. We get incredible feedback. Don't you agree, Debbie? Like whenever we go live, I just love the feedback from everybody because I love hearing your questions, your thoughts. A lot of you are booking calls with us, asking us questions. And I absolutely just love the feedback that we get from you and, you know, how we're helping you. And that's why we're here. We're live with Breakfast with Champions. And it's actually perfect going from the last segment. And I mean, that crew is amazing, especially I've had the pleasure of actually being in the same room with Amelia, and she is just a powerhouse. I can't underestimate a powerful woman like her and what she has done in her career. And I think the most amazing thing about Amelia that I love is that fact that she is a powerhouse and she's not afraid to say it. And that's actually what today is kind of about. It's about the fact that, you know, as not just as a woman, but as an entrepreneur, like overcoming self-doubt. And I know for me that there's been times in my life where I have had self-doubt and I have doubted myself. And at every single level that you get to, you're going to have some sort of self-doubt. And so going back to Amelia, when I first met her, we were at a live event, and I didn't really know her, and I was one of a team of several, and Debbie too was part of piecing together, speakers. And she was just not only a powerhouse, but by the end of it, I was like, do you want to speak more? Because everybody wants to hear from you. And she just was so incredible to stand up and say, hey, you know, we had a panel and it happened to just be all men. And it was based on, you know, success and things like that. And I hadn't really known Amelia's success. And she talk about not having any self-doubt. She was like, I should be up on that stage. And I looked at her, I go, you know, after hearing you speak for 2 days, you're absolutely right, you know, but I love that she stood up and she just said hey, I deserve to be up on that stage. And, you know, that takes a lot of confidence that not all of us have. Right, Deb?
Yeah, it really does. And the thing about what makes that important, I think, is when you think about your audience, whether it's clients or audiences you're trying to turn into clients, they're going to borrow your confidence. And if you don't have confidence for them, it's going to be difficult to want to get closer in your orbit. So it's one of the ways you serve. I think bringing your own level of self-assuredness and security and being self-balanced is important for the audience. And she definitely has that in spades. She's really good at it.
But it takes time and practice. Like, I think that we're in the world where everybody wants everything right now. Like, everything is, I want it now, I want it now, I want it now. It's called instant gratification. And everybody thinks, oh, in 3 months, I should have this booming business. I paid $60,000 for a coach. They should solve all my problems in 3 months. No. Do you know how many different things that you need to have a successful business? And, you know, Amelia and Jason, and they were talking at one point, you know, all these gurus, which are so many gurus out there. And I completely agree. But every single person you hire is going to give you something. But sometimes we have these expectation that they're going to solve all our problems. And this is an expectation, even as a coach, sometimes we need to set with clients like, hey, you're paying us a couple grand a month. We're not running your company. You are responsible for your company. And a part of that is people feel like, I don't have the confidence. I have self-doubt in myself. So I'm going to hire somebody else and just throw money at the problem. And that's not the solution, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's true. And to your point, they feel like, all right, if I'm paying you a lot of money, that means you're going to do it. You're going to take it and do it. And that's not what coaching is. Now, if you need a full service agency, that's different. We have deliverables. We bring, you know, what you need to the market. But at the same time, if you're investing in yourself when it comes to hiring a coach, the idea is you're investing in you. That money is being invested in and coming back to you and building you, and you have to be fully in. You're not handing off your business.
Yeah. And, you know, a couple people are asking who we are. So this is Alexa and Deb for everyone on Clubhouse and Twitter. You can follow us at Debbie Shannon and Alexa D'Agostino. We're on all platforms. We're also live streaming, by the way. I don't know if Deb, you figured it out. Deb is not the most technical person, but I'm live streaming from LinkedIn and YouTube today as well. And we're talking about overcoming self-doubt. We're on Breakfast with Champions. And so we're going to talk through, there's 5 different strategies we want to talk through that we work on a lot. And it's interesting because, you know, we run a coaching program and we have an entire course full of all of our marketing strategies that we have used to create multi-million-dollar industry-wide companies. And what I mean by that is we've grown companies in every single industry. And so these strategies work with, you know, brick and mortar, service-based, pretty much name it. And we've grown businesses, and we're literally giving everybody every single strategy that we have used, that people pay us $15,000 to $25,000 a month for us to come in and do it for them. And we're giving it to you in this course. And Deb, correct me if I'm wrong, but we have live streams every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday with our students, and Monday's mindset, Tuesday's sales strategy, and Wednesday's marketing. And guess which one is the most packed masterclass that we have?
I
Mindset.
happen to know because it's mine.
Like, it's either they really like Debbie or they really don't have the confidence. And so this is why we're talking about overcoming self-doubt, because we can give you all the tools in the world, but if you doubt yourself, or if you have people in your life that doubt you, you are going to doubt yourself. And I'll tell you a story. So I'll be vulnerable for a second, right? And I mentioned this earlier, that there's different levels of self-doubt, right? So when it comes to building a 6-figure company, even a 7-figure company, like I feel I print money. Like, that's one of my strengths. I am really good at finding revenue and creating revenue. I'm great at that. And that's something I have confidence in. But as I ventured into this new world of building $1 billion brand, I've never been in that world. And so I had to partner with people who have done it. And there's a part of me that had to, Amelia talked about this in the last hour, checking my ego and saying, you know what? I don't know everything. So I'm going to partner with other people that have done it, because if I want to get to the next level, or I've built an 8-figure company. I've actually been I've never been a CEO of a 9-figure company, but I've been CMO, part of a 9-figure company, building it from all the way from scratch, all the way to 9 figures. But I've never been the CEO of a company, but I've been a CEO of a $15 million company that sold for 50, right? And
just that.
Oh, just that, you know, but my point is I feel comfortable building a 7-figure, 8-figure company. I'm still kind of not at the point where I feel I'm a CEO of a 9, 10-figure company yet, right? So I've got to be part of a team to learn and grow from them. And so I have a little bit of self-doubt, but what do? I don't cry in a corner. I figure it out. I get the right people around my table. I build the right skills. I look at myself and say, what don't I have right now that I need to run $1 billion company? A lot. I have a lot of learnings, and I don't think it's going to happen overnight. And the reality is, as an entrepreneur, you have to understand that you can't just leave a 9-to-5 or start a company for your first time and expect within the first 6 months you're going to create a 6-figure company. Maybe you will, but you can't have that expectation.
Yeah, I think a lot of people make that mistake. And part of that is because of the proliferation of coaches and gurus on the internet who are telling people that, you know, you can work 4 hours a week and be a millionaire. You can phone it in from a laptop on the beach. It just doesn't work like that.
Well, I mean, I feel like I work. Deb always yells at me. She's like, "Are you walking again? Are you at the beach? Are you at the pool?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm working from my phone at the pool. Enjoy."
It's inspiring.
But I get work done well. And I
You
actually
get a
find
lot
it
done.
relaxing. It's every time I'm on vacation, people are like, "Why are you working?" I'm like, I'm at the beach with a margarita. No, I hate margaritas. Why did I say that? With like a Mai Tai in my hand, you know, or what I like to call the funky monkeys. Those are so good. It's like the ice drinkies,
What?
the ice drinks. Have you ever had those? So good.
I don't think I have.
Oh my God, they're so good. But anyway, and I'm sitting there, it's like rum and basically coconut. Like, shavings. But anyway, so
Wow.
it's so good. It tastes like ice cream. And have 3 of those and you're done. But I'm sitting here and I'm working. But the point here is you're going to have self-doubt. It's not about like, there's very few people in the world that have Amelia's confidence. Let's be honest. She is a rare bird, right? That like, and I'm sure she has self-doubt. I'm sure there is things within her that she self-doubts too. We all self-doubt. I just shared a story about how I have self-doubt. But what did I do? I put people around me. I focus on my strengths. I embrace that I might fail. And I surround myself with people that allow failure. Because
Well, I don't think it's fair to think that you're not going to have self-doubt, because like if you're not, it means you're not trying anything new. You're not growing. So you have to challenge
that's
yourself.
good. Yeah.
And
Right.
so,
It's
I mean, it like even you and me, like yesterday, you kind of kicked my ass a little bit because it was creeping up on me and you could hear it. And you're like, I hear that self-doubt creeping in. Cut it out.
I'll tell you right out. Let's. Do you care if we talk about it? Because I think this is
No,
important
not
for
at
people
all.
to hear that successful people have self-doubt. So I'll tell a
100%.
story. So one of our business partners is going on leave. Tanya, you guys have heard her. She comes on live here because she is having a baby. But she's had a really tough pregnancy. And so she's been kind of in and out of the hospital. And so Deb and I have had to kind of step up. And we've had to go ahead and help with a lot of her tasks. And so Deb behind the scenes started to freak out. She started to, say, oh my God, what are we going to do? Like, she does so much. Like, I'm starting to freak out. And so I had to say to her yesterday, I'm like, stop it. We will figure it out. We are 2 smart people. We will be okay. And I had to put her in her place because she had self-doubt.
Yeah.
Am I right?
And that's the answer. What people sometimes get afraid of is they feel like they've got to like fix that or defend it, or explain it. I don't have that feeling. Mine is like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm relieved. Okay, that's what it is. And it went away immediately. It's like, okay, that's what it is. And I recognized it as soon as you called it. But sometimes we can't see it. It's in our blind spot, in our side mirror. And it's like you heard it. It was like an undertone. And you called it. I was like, that's what's going on, and
Self-doubt.
then it settled me down.
Yeah. And sometimes you need that person in your life to call you out. And that's what we do as coaches. Like you have to call people out when they're starting to have that self-doubt and figure out how to prevent it. Because otherwise, if you have self-doubt, you're not going to take risks. You just said that. You're not going to make decisions and you're going to stall. You're going to stall towards your goal. We have a client right now that's doing the same thing. She's self-doubting everything. She's self-doubting herself. She's self-doubting her offer. She's self-doubting everything. And it's actually making it really hard for us to help her because she's self-doubting everything. And if she can't get past that self-doubt, we could give you all the strategies in the world, but if you don't have faith in yourself and you don't have confidence in yourself, you're never going to grow a business. And we're always talking about tactics, and everybody that comes every Wednesday, that we talk a lot about strategies. And in the next 30 minutes, we're going to talk about some of the strategies that we're doing from a marketing perspective right now, and what's working, what's not working. And the reality is that if you can't get past the first live doubt piece of this, you're never going to grow a company. It's never going to work.
One thing I'll say about self-doubt and second guessing, which is a close cousin and follow on to self-doubt. You start second guessing everything. It's a real sticky place because what'll happen is your brain will look for evidence to prove that what you're doubting is true, and you'll find it because that's what your brain's designed to do. So you'll start to believe your own doubt and you'll start to really second guess everything. And the problem with that is you'll get in this loop, you can get this downward spiral, your mood will crater, your creativity will crater, and it's like you're stuck. And you need someone in that moment from outside of you to say, hey, hold up a mirror, and so you can see what's up. And when you can, you're like, oh, okay, got it. Now I can move. But if you don't, in that moment, I would say this too. If you don't have that person around you, first of all, call a trusted advisor. Say, hey, I'm a little stuck, whatever. But if it's just you, take action. One step, anything you can do that moves you out of it can create momentum. So it's really important. This is a dangerous thing, especially for entrepreneurs, because we're always trying new things. So we don't always know what we're doing. And so we can get into that self-doubt and second guessing.
Yeah. And I want to hear from everybody listening. Like, what do you have self-doubt about? Let's talk about it. Right. So we have about 10 minutes left in this segment, and I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you're self-doubting. I want to be able to respond to that. So as we continue to keep going, we'll keep talking, and I would love to hear from all of you. And what are you self-doubting?
Hey,
Right.
Dr. Alexa, I just wanted to add in, everybody feel free. Dr. Alexa can hear you fine on Twitter Spaces and Clubhouse. And as Dr. Alexa said, and Deb, in about 12 minutes, give or take, we'll go full to Clubhouse. We'll end the video stream here, but we'll go back to Clubhouse. But while you're here, just unmic, say your name. Dr. Alexa and Deb can hear you. Just say your name real clear so they can hear that you're there, and jump on in. You're doing a great job. Thanks, Dr. Alexa and Deb.
I love how Ramon just like popped in like an
Yeah,
angel.
just like, yeah.
Look,
Like-
look, there he is. It's almost like the genie. All we got to do is say something and he
Woo, he
there.
disappeared,
I love that.
right? That was pretty cool. This is a cool
very
stuff.
comforting.
I mean, all right, so let's talk about this, right? While we're waiting for comments and questions of what are you self-doubting, right? When it comes to entrepreneurship, you're kind of on an island of your own, and we're talking about winning Wednesdays, right? And sometimes we get too caught up in the idea of winning or losing, because the truth is, we look at it as we're either winning or you're losing, but that's not how you should look at it. The truth is, it's a journey. We're so focused on winning, 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 winning. I know I do this too. And what happens when I just want to win, 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 win? I drive my team into the dirt. That's what happens. I drive myself into the dirt, right? So you have to understand, you have to focus on progress rather than just outcomes. Now, don't get me wrong. Outcome is important. Results are important. My whole life, I've been very focused on outcomes, but I've also had the understanding expectation. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to lose money. I'm going to lose things about myself. And you have to understand that that's okay. Right. And yeah.
Good morning from Atlanta. I love Atlanta.
Woohoo. But, I think that we have to remember, we have to celebrate the small victories. We have to learn from our setbacks rather than driving force. I got to win, 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 win. You have to understand that. And success is subjective. And I think it's actually interesting because they said this in the last segment, like, what is success to you? Is it money? Or is it having a good team? What is it?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Dr. Alexa. Hey, Deb. I figured I would jump on in. People are listening, and it'll say it'll be up in 9 minutes again in the live feed, but I'd love to hang with you since you invited it. I think sometimes I beat myself up, looking back at looking at others, whether it's looking at Dr. Alexa. Dr. Alexa's looking at Amelia. I'm looking at Dr. Alexa. Like looking at where I want to be or where I could be or whatever, or not doing the recording on Twitter chat yesterday when Elena Cardone and others are like, oh, don't worry, it'll be on the Twitter chat. And I'm like, guys, I forgot to hit record. Oh my. We got to record on the platforms, but you're so right. Sometimes I think whether we're too hard on ourselves, we're not. But I think that, yes, looking at where we've gone and what does success mean to us as well. I think that's an important thing that we can do more. When you working with people, Dr. Alexa, what do you tell people when they say, I want to be successful? How do you guide them? I know you won't define the success for them, but when they say, I want to be successful, what does that mean? And just so people can see me on video, I am not morphing into a different, like a Spanish guy or white guy. It's just the sunlight right in front of my face here. Go ahead, Dr. Alexa. What do you tell people when they come to you and they're like, I want to be successful that broad? What do you push back and how do you guide them?
It all how do you define success? It's like the problem is people compare themselves to one another. It's actually interesting because I'm speaking, I'm doing a TEDx talk in a couple weeks, and Deb knows, she's seen my presentation, and it's all about challenging the status quo and the power of doing things wrong. And what's interesting about my talk is I say, like, my whole life, I have fought against a lot of different things. I'm Latina, I'm gay, I'm a woman, like everything I could possibly fight against, I am fighting against. And I have broken every glass ceiling that exists for somebody that is a Latina gay woman. And for me, it's because I didn't care about mistakes. I didn't care about failing. What I cared about was results and moving forward. If I take one step back, I'm taking 10 forward. And I focused on that. And the reality is when we all look at one another, Like, why do we all behave this way? Why do we all feel success is money? Why do we all feel that this is the definition of success? It's because of conformity. Like, we're all trying to be like everyone else, and we're wired by society to conform, right? We all want to be the same, and it's this collective illusion, and we all follow in this same path as everyone else. And the only reason why we do it is because the loudest person is the one that creates this conformity. And look at all the very successful people out there that are showcasing their cars and showcasing all of this like wealthy life, when half of them don't even actually really have that lifestyle. They're renting these cars and doing these things. And that's causing us to think, okay, I want to be like them. Why? Because we are wired to want to reduce our brain power because it's energy. And the least amount of decisions we can make will reduce the amount of energy that it's taking. Decision making takes a lot of energy. And it's easier for us to go along with everyone else and what everyone else is doing and saying. And then it puts this expectation on us that we have to do X, Y, and Z. Why? Why not fight against it? Why not go against the grain? Why not do something else? So I always tell my students, Ramon, stop comparing yourself to me. Stop comparing yourself to me. Compare yourself to yourself. Compare yourself to yourself a year ago to today. That is who you should compare yourself. Are you a better person? Are you a better leader? Are you moving in the right direction? Do you have progress? If you could do that, then you will be successful. Stop comparing yourself to me. That is what I tell everybody.
I think it comes from, but partly I want to just add to that.
Yeah.
We're wired to admire. That's just kind of the way we are as humans. And so it's natural and kind of normal. And to Alexa's point, we look at other people and we compare ourselves to them. And that's what you were saying, Ramon. And we've all been guilty of it and experienced it. But what I love about what you both are saying is when you focus on success, you can let go of the need for significance, because this is what I think a lot of people chase. That's fame or whatever, likes and follows and all those things. And I think in the last segment, they talked about that if that's not part of what you value or part of your success formula, you're not being paid for that, then don't focus on it. But we have this desire for significance, which is why self-doubt is the inversion of that. So it's a natural follow-on occurrence. If we get into comparison, that we start to second guess ourselves. So I'm glad you mentioned it, because everybody has this. It's just a human thing. Like Alexa said, we have this brain that's wired this way. So I think focusing on your own success, turning the mirror back around and looking at yourself is a way to inoculate against that temptation to look out there and say, how am I lining up against all of that? Because there's no way you can algorithm that. It's not your journey. It's not who you are, and it's not your success. So bring the program back home and work on the person in the seat.
I love that. I love that. One follow-up, if I may, on that. We got about 3 minutes, and we'll transition fully to Clubhouse. Oh, I see. Mary Lynn is saying, okay, yes, that was an internal thing. I was going to read an internal thing that Mary Lynn was saying to somebody on Clubhouse, but yes, there is a little confusion there. People are seeing a black guy's voice there and hearing somebody through it say, "Hey, I'm Latina and gay and I'm a woman." So I know it's confusing people here, but don't worry. That's multiple people through that one profile. It's okay. They're like, doesn't sound like Ramon's voice. Yeah, it's okay. But one follow-up on that.
You are a Latina gay woman, huh?
Yeah. One follow-up on that, Deb and Alexa, Dr. Alexa, and then we can transition maybe after that. But it's okay to admire, as you said, right? It's okay to look at others and say, "Ooh, what kind of mic do you have? Oh, I like that podcast." Or, interesting how you have that nice shirt there, Deb. Maybe I'll consider that, but maybe it's the one it over-indexes. Or Steve Harvey and Seth Godin. Seth Godin's a friend of mine. I have all his books. I kind of watch him from afar. I like his style of graphics, big pictures and bold. I kind of model that. Steve Harvey, just his swag as he walks out when he does it, the music playing. I'm not going to have a mustache. I'm not going to have music, and I'm not going to have
I would like to see you with
that.
the mustache, though.
So let's talk about that maybe. Any comments on that, Dr. Alexa and Deb?
Yeah, that's so true. I think to your point, one of the things I said this the other day, I think Alexa heard me say it. I was like, it's more like, instead of being comparison, it's more like being inspired.
I like that.
Right. And so I can be inspired by certain things and say, oh, I don't have to reinvent every wheel. I can take a little piece of that, a little piece of this. And it's more like, when it comes to art, some people say, oh, that you don't ever want to do what anybody else is doing. But yet every good piece of art was inspired by something else. So I look at it that way, more like inspiration.
No, 100%. I mean, there's a difference of comparison and inspiration. And I mean, I look at, certain people that I surround myself with and I'm inspired, but I'm not threatened by it. I'm not threatened by their success. I'm actually sit there and use it as motivation, because if they could do it, I can too. And so instead we use comparison as a way to put ourselves down, because it's almost easier for us to self-doubt than it is to actually have confidence in ourselves. And so,
Yeah, what is up with that? It's so true.
Because then we don't let ourselves down. Think about it. Like, if we fail and we have that expectation we're going to fail, then it's okay. But if we
get to be right,
we're going to do it, and then you fail, it's like, oh, I really put every effort into this and I still failed. Like, I'm a failure. And it's the wrong way to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Alexa, one more time, can you remind us? We'll finish that statement then. Dr. Alexa, I want to remind you one more time how to reach you, and then we'll transition. But Deb, please.
I think the dirty little secret about the way the human mind works is it wants to be right. So whether you're being right about something positive or something negative, it doesn't care. It's very binary. It's like it wants you to be right so you can be quote unquote safe, right? This is the primal way the brain works. And so if I'm looking for evidence of my own failure, I'll find it every time. And if I'm looking for evidence of my limitations, I'll find them and I'll fight for them. And our job is to relieve people of the temptation to fight for their limitations. Love it. And bring their best out.
Absolutely. Dr. Alexa, one more time, tell us how we can reach you, just especially for the replays and all that. And then I'll close this video segment. And then the real Dr. Alexa and Deb can have the little Clubhouse. Talk to us how to reach you.
Dr. Alexa and Deb will show up on Clubhouse. If you're not on Clubhouse, head over to Clubhouse, because that's where we're going to be heading. You can reach me on all platforms, Dr. Alexa D'Agostino, or thinkconsultinggroup.com or alexadagostino.com. Any of those will work, and we'll see you back on Clubhouse in literally 5 seconds.
I love it. Dolan, feel free to move the cameras as well. I'm just going to shut down. I'm going to bring you back up, Christina, one more time, if I may. Christina, you're good to go. Yeah, but hey, everybody, again, this is Breakfast with Champions. We're live streaming across a variety of platforms. We're going to end this stream soon. BWCDaily.com, motivation, education, inspiration. Let me say that slower, Christina. Motivation, education, inspiration with a high dose of positivity. But Christina, anything you wanted to add, anything you wanted to say? You've been here since the 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 a.m. CST. Since it was 4 a.m. CST, I woke up at 3 a.m. CST. Christina, leave us with something before I close us out.
Yes, Ramon. Yes, I woke up at 2 o'clock a.m. CST. It was here, I think by 3:30 logging in. But however, yes, and I will be heading to Dallas today. One last thing, Ramon, if there's anybody on here that's listening, if they want to attend the conference, but they cannot attend for both days, can they come for one day? Can they get a one-day ticket? That's a question that I was asked, and I don't think we were asked that question before.
I'll answer that, and I will. I'm going to mute on the Clubhouse side, so Alexa and Deb can take it away. I'll just mute on the Clubhouse side. And I'm going to also, by the way, I'm going to close the Twitter chat here as well. Those on Twitter, thanks for joining us. We're going to go on there as well.
I was like, I don't know if that's my cue.
So hey, we are live streaming as well. Just talking to the live stream audience.
Hey, Ramon, do we have to keep the link on the top, or are we able to change it? Are we cool?
Yeah, you can change everything. Everything's yours. Please. Thanks.
Everything is.
But yeah. So anyway, we're live. Yes, people can attend. Let me just. Yeah. So, but yes, people can attend. People can buy the ticket now. BWCDaily.com. BWCDaily.com/Dallas23. People can still get a ticket now. And so yeah. So that's a wrap. So I just got out of the Clubhouse room because it's in my ear. Got out of the Twitter room because it's in my ear. Yep. Christina Howard's here. Definitely follow Christina. See Christina for all the things that she's doing to help you. Christina, do you want to add anything about what you do, Christina?
Absolutely. Yes, I am an independent sales director in a direct sales company. Everybody know the direct sales company. I'm working for my pink Cadillac. So there you go. There's a cue. I'm working for my fifth car, first pink Cadillac by June 30th. So if you are on here and if you're listening, if you don't have a consultant, feel free to contact me. DM me on IG, choward005, or you can go to my website, www.marykay.com/ChristinaHoward01. I'm also the CEO and founder of Inspiring Youths on a Mission to Success nonprofit organization where we mentor youth and young adults ages 13 through 25 years old. And we are now working on our 5th annual Youth and Young Adult Summit. Much success. Ramon Ray is coming back next year. Tia Muhammad is coming back next year. We have a whole lot of people coming back next year. So we want you to join us too. So thank you all for being here. My God, it was such a fiery fire. The show was fire, the whole show. So thank you all for being here. We hope that you all will join us again tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Eastern as well. Back over to you, Ramon.
Christina, you said it all. Thank you so much. End of the live stream right now. Have a good day, everybody.
Woo, bye.